I'm reading this comment. Interesting. Said, studied Ukraine and found out it was a nation built on white supremacy. You can look at its history, look at the symbolism and the battalions. I don't mess with them. The United States was also built on white supremacy, by the way. If you look at this situation, even if the nation was built on white supremacy, we're looking at the here and now, their nation on its own. It's a sovereign nation, whether it was built on white supremacy or whatever. Ukraine is its own sovereign nation. And the fact that another country would invade it, you get invaded. If somebody came and invaded America, and people say, well, I ain't going to defend America because it was built on white supremacy. You have to understand that there are laws, international laws that were put in place that prohibits one country from invading another sovereign country. That's a law. You can't just invade another country just because you want to annex it or whatever the case may be, or take minerals from it, even though we see a lot of that hypocrisy around the world. The point is that this one is very blazing and in our face. Laws are laws, and they're put in place to keep order. When you violate these laws, it brings chaos. So even though you say you don't mess with them, the principle is what you should be worried about, not the fact that the country was built on white supremacy. What you should worry about is the principle at hand. One country cannot go and invade another country for no reason. It's just like you can't go to your neighbor's house and just try to take it because you once lived in it before. You can't do that. If you sold a house or you all agree that this is no longer your property, you can't say, you know what, I'm going to just go and take that house back because I once used to live in it. It used to be part of my portfolio. You can't do that. And it's the same thing. Nations can't do that to one another. The bottom line is, if we allow Russia to go through with this, or we just watch and sit, because inaction is just as bad as is the most violent is violence. Silence is violence, as you know. If you just sit aside and allow this to perpetuate, what will be next? Any country will want to do, this one will decide that, you know what, I want to invade that country. The United States, Venezuela might say, I want to invade Trinidad. Haiti, the Dominican Republic might say, I want to take over the whole island of Hispaniola. No laws in place. Suppose we allow this to go through. Then we open the door to allow other countries to do the same thing. Because if we let Russia do this and another country tries to do it and we say, no, you can't do it, what are they going to do? They're going to refer, well, you let Russia do it, so why can't I do it? It's only fair, right? Then you have bigger countries engulfing little countries. So it's not right to allow one country to invade. It's not right to see one country invade another country and just sit by and say, I ain't doing nothing about it. Should do something about it. That's why everybody's upset. And the way this whole situation was handled by the president, it was the most embarrassing thing, The whole idea is that this man came there, humbled himself to come and talk to you about having aid to help his people. And the first thing y'all did was jump on him, told him he's in no position to bargain, told him, attacked him about his attire, and just berated him like a little child. So even if the country was built on white supremacy, the fact is that the world does not recognize that. All we see is one country invading another one. I think the world is right to be angry at Donald Trump for what he did and J.D. Vance. America just aligned itself with the worst of the worst. So that whole scenario in the White House changed a lot. That one gesture, that one act just pivoted everything. And we're about to see what's really going to be happening. All right, well, we saw how Zelensky went to England and the European Union and how well accepted he was. We see everybody posting all kinds of headlines about how negative the interaction between Donald Trump and Zelensky was. So you may not mess with them, but the fact is that rules are put in place for a reason. Peace.